It happens quietly. You step into a space, and the air shifts, not loudly, not dramatically, but enough to be noticed. Conversations soften, movements slow. Someone looks up longer than necessary. Another glances twice, unsure why. No words are exchanged. No reason is given. Yet attention finds you. Aquarius. This is not about your clothes, your posture, or what you say. This is about what you carry. People don't stare because they understand you. They stare because something in them reacts when you pass. Something instinctive, something they didn't plan to feel. They don't know your story. They haven't heard your voice. Still, something inside them leans forward, curious, unsettled, pulled. That pull is real. And if you've noticed this lately, the lingering looks, the silent observation, the attention that feels unspoken, type "I feel it" in the comments. Just those words. Because today, we're uncovering why this happens. Why people feel drawn to you without knowing why. Why your presence alone stops them in their tracks. And why this attention is intensifying now. Stay with me until the end. What you're about to understand will reshape how you see yourself and how you move through the world from here on. Aquarius, you don't enter spaces with noise or demands. You don't announce your arrival. You don't try to be noticed. And yet, attention finds you anyway. You sit in a room, and something about you refuses to disappear into the background. Not because you are trying to stand out, but because you cannot be copied. Your presence feels original, unedited, untouched by the need to impress. You move at your own rhythm. You think from your own place. You live without asking for permission. That quiet difference is what draws eyes toward you. People are used to seeing versions of each other. Familiar patterns, repeated behavior, predictable reactions. But when they look at you, they sense something unscripted. Something honest. Something that wasn't shaped to fit expectations. That is why they stare. They may not understand it in words, but something inside them recognizes truth. Your presence feels clean, unmanufactured, and unforced. It feels like someone who chose to be themselves, even when it was uncomfortable. And that choice leaves an impression. In a world where many people are adjusting themselves to belong, you arrive already whole. Your energy doesn't ask for validation. It simply exists, steady and self-contained. When people look at you longer than expected, they are not studying your appearance. They are sensing your difference. They are feeling the contrast between who they are pretending to be and who you are allowing yourself to be. You remind them of a part of themselves they set aside long ago. The part that once felt free, original, and unfiltered. That memory stirs quietly when you pass by. That is the first reason eyes linger on you, Aquarius. Your presence brings back something real, and reality is rare. Aquarius, you don't rush to fill every quiet moment. You don't compete for attention. You don't explain yourself just to feel accepted. You allow silence to exist, and that alone makes people uneasy. Most people are taught that worth must be proven. They speak quickly. They overshare. They perform just to be seen. Silence to them feels like danger. It feels like absence. It feels like something is missing. But with you, silence is not empty. It is full. Your quiet presence sends a message without words. I am settled. I don't need to convince anyone. And people feel that. They sit near you and begin to notice themselves. Their thoughts grow louder. Their movements feel awkward. Your stillness holds up a mirror they weren't ready to face. That is why they stare. They are not watching your face. They are not studying your appearance. They are sensing your inner balance. They wonder how you can sit so calmly without reaching for approval. How you can listen without interrupting. How you can exist without proving your value through noise. Your silence makes them ask questions they've been avoiding. How can someone be so present? How can someone be at peace without explanation? How can someone feel complete without constant reassurance? They don't have answers. And that unsettles them. Your quiet does not demand attention, yet it commands it. Not through force, but through confidence that doesn't need sound. What they are truly staring at is your steadiness. And deep down, they don't know how to create that within themselves. Aquarius, not every stare carries the same meaning. Some people look at you and feel drawn in without knowing why. Others look and feel unsettled, unsure of what just shifted inside them. Some feel an unexpected emotion rise, warmth, curiosity, or even sadness, and they don't understand where it came from. This is because your presence awakens things people have buried. You don't try to reach into others, yet something in you reaches them anyway. Your way of being touches memories they haven't visited in years. It stirs questions they've been avoiding. It brings up feelings they thought were settled. That is why some people watch you closely. They are not watching you to judge. They are watching you to understand themselves. Your presence reminds them of paths they didn't take, versions of themselves they left behind, and possibilities they quietly gave up on. When you pass through their awareness, those feelings rise without warning. One moment they admire your calm, the next they feel uneasy around your independence. Then, when you leave, they notice an absence they can't explain. This emotional shift confuses them. They may feel attracted without desire, threatened without conflict, comforted without closeness. None of it is random. You don't chase attention. You don't ask to be noticed. Yet attention gathers around you because your presence activates what lies beneath the surface. People stare because something inside them has been touched, and they don't know how to name it. Aquarius, many people stay close to the surface of life. They keep things light because depth feels dangerous to them. You are different. You don't run from your thoughts. You sit with them. You allow questions to rise, even when answers don't come quickly. You've spent time alone with yourself. You've faced quiet nights, heavy thoughts, and long moments of reflection. You've asked yourself what truly matters, what has meaning, and what is worth holding on to. That inner journey changed you, and even when you smile, that depth is still there. People sense it immediately. They can feel that there is more beneath your words, more behind your eyes. They know you carry stories that haven't been spoken, and understanding that wasn't learned quickly. That is why they stare. They aren't just seeing who you are now, they're sensing who you've become through experience. Your presence feels layered. It feels lived in. It feels like someone who has grown through inner seasons most people avoid. This makes people curious. They want to know what shaped you. They want to understand how you became so grounded in yourself. But it also makes them cautious. Depth requires honesty. Depth invites reflection. And not everyone is ready to look inward. So they watch you quietly, aware that being close to you might awaken questions they're not prepared to answer. Aquarius, this matters more than you realize. You don't wait for approval before being yourself. You don't look around a room to decide how to act. You don't reshape your thoughts just to blend in. You arrive as you are, steady, grounded, unchanged by who is watching. And people feel that immediately. Most people adjust themselves depending on who is present. They soften their opinions. They hide parts of themselves. They shrink their truth to avoid discomfort. Living that way becomes exhausting. You don't do that. You allow others to be exactly who they are, without judgment or control, while remaining firmly rooted in yourself. That quiet independence stands out. That is why people stare. Some admire it because they wish they had it. Some envy it because they lost it long ago. Some feel exposed by it because your confidence highlights their own uncertainty. Your way of being reflects something back to them, the ways they rely on approval to feel safe, accepted, or valued. And reflection is uncomfortable. They may not say anything, but your presence challenges them. It shows them that freedom is possible without permission, that self-trust can exist without applause. You don't demand attention, you don't ask to be understood. Yet people watch closely because your independence touches a place in them they've been avoiding. Aquarius, this is something many people notice but rarely talk about. Strangers feel comfortable around you faster than expected. Conversations go deeper without effort. People tell you personal details they didn't plan to share. Sometimes they pause afterward, surprised by how much they revealed. You didn't ask for it. You didn't push for it. It simply happens. Your presence carries a quiet safety, not the kind that demands closeness, but the kind that allows honesty. People sense that they can be themselves around you without being judged or misunderstood. That is why they stare. There is something familiar about you, even to those who have just met you. It feels as though they recognize you, but they can't explain from where. The feeling is subtle, like remembering a dream after waking, clear in emotion, unclear in detail. You hold warmth without intrusion, distance without coldness, care without pressure. This balance is rare. People feel drawn to you because your presence feels both grounding and mysterious. It's comforting, yet it leaves them curious. They watch you, trying to place the feeling, trying to understand why you feel so known. It's as if they've encountered your energy before, in another time, another moment, or another version of themselves. And that sense of recognition makes them look twice. Aquarius, what you carry is not arrogance, it is not ego. It is something much quieter. It is a knowing that doesn't need to be announced. You have been through moments that changed how you see life. You faced situations that forced you to grow, to let go, and to rebuild yourself from the inside. Those experiences shaped you in ways that don't show on the surface, but they live in how you move, how you decide, and how you hold yourself. You no longer doubt every step. You listen inward before you act. You trust your judgment. You follow your inner direction without needing approval. That confidence doesn't speak loudly. It doesn't compete. It doesn't demand space. And yet, it is felt. People notice the steadiness in you. They sense that you are not easily shaken, not easily influenced, and not easily pulled into unnecessary struggle. Your strength doesn't try to overpower others, it simply exists. That is why people stare. They are sensing a form of confidence that doesn't rely on control or attention. A strength that stands without dominance. A presence that feels secure without being aggressive. This kind of confidence is rare. To those still unsure of themselves, it can feel unsettling. To those still searching for direction, it can feel magnetic. And to those still proving their worth, it quietly challenges everything they rely on. You don't need to show your confidence. It shows itself through you. Aquarius, this chapter requires honesty, clarity, and awareness. Not every stare comes from a good place, not every gaze is harmless, and not everyone who looks at you is looking with clean intention. This is important to understand, not to make you fearful, but to make you wise. Some stares carry admiration. These are the ones that feel light. There is respect in them. Curiosity without pressure. You can feel when someone looks at you and simply appreciates your presence without wanting anything from you. Other stares carry desire. Not always physical, sometimes emotional, sometimes psychological. These people are drawn to what you represent: calm, freedom, depth, or inner stability. They stare because they want to feel what you feel, or to possess what they sense in you. Then there are stares that carry jealousy or confusion. These are heavier. People who feel empty inside often stare the longest. Your presence highlights something missing in them. They don't know what it is, but being near you makes that emptiness louder. Instead of turning inward, they fix their attention on you. People who feel threatened may watch you closely. They notice how little you need approval. They sense how grounded you are, and instead of learning from it, they try to understand it in order to protect themselves. Their stare feels tight, focused, and sometimes uncomfortable. Your light does something powerful. It reveals. It reveals who feels secure. It reveals who feels lacking. It reveals who feels inspired and who feels exposed. That is why attention follows you in different forms. Some people will observe you quietly from a distance, trying to understand what makes you different. Some will project their own unresolved emotions onto you. Others may stare because your presence challenges the image they have built of themselves. This is why you don't need to decode every look. Trying to explain yourself to every gaze will drain you. Trying to soften yourself so others feel comfortable will dim you. Trying to control how people perceive you will only pull you out of alignment. Your role is not explanation. Your role is discernment. Notice how attention feels when it reaches you. Notice whether it feels calm or heavy, supportive or draining, respectful or intrusive. Your intuition already knows the difference. You don't owe everyone access to your energy. You don't owe everyone closeness because they are curious, and you don't need to respond to every form of attention. Some people are meant to admire from afar, some are meant to learn silently, and some are meant to stay at a distance entirely. Not all stares deserve your awareness. Some only deserve your boundaries. And when you understand this, Aquarius, you stop absorbing what was never meant to be carried by you. Aquarius, the attention you're receiving now isn't subtle anymore. It's noticeable. It's consistent, and it feels different from before. You may find that people look at you longer. Conversations pause when you enter a space. Even when you remain quiet, your presence feels sensed. You don't have to announce yourself. The room already knows you're there. This isn't coincidence. You are moving through a season of alignment, and alignment naturally amplifies presence. Alignment doesn't mean you suddenly become louder or more expressive. It means you are no longer divided within yourself. Your thoughts, your choices, and your inner direction are beginning to match. When that happens, your energy becomes clear, and clarity is felt. You haven't changed who you are. You've changed how fully you stand in yourself. Before, parts of you may have questioned your path. You may have softened yourself to avoid conflict or misunderstanding. You may have hesitated before trusting your instincts. But now there is less hesitation, less inner argument, and that shift is powerful. When the inner noise quiets, your presence becomes stronger without effort. People sense that you are grounded, that you know where you stand, that you are not searching for permission or reassurance. This is why attention increases. People are drawn to certainty, not loud certainty, but calm certainty. The kind that doesn't need validation, the kind that feels stable and self-contained. This season is sharpening your awareness. You are more intentional with your energy. You choose your words carefully. You choose your silence wisely. You no longer feel the need to explain every feeling or justify every choice. That refinement shows. Your presence now carries weight because it is rooted in clarity. And clarity attracts eyes, curiosity, and awareness naturally. People feel that you are aligned with something deeper, even if they can't identify what it is. Some will admire this shift. Some will feel unsettled by it. Some will watch quietly, sensing that something important is happening within you. You may even notice that the attention comes when you least expect it, during ordinary moments, simple interactions, or quiet days. That's because this isn't about performance, it's about resonance. You are resonating at a steadier frequency now. This season is not asking you to chase attention or retreat from it. It is asking you to remain grounded while your presence expands, to stay rooted while being seen more clearly. As alignment continues, your presence will keep intensifying, naturally, quietly, and without force. And those who are meant to notice will. Aquarius, understand this clearly and carry it with you. People stare because you carry truth without noise. Because your presence is honest, not rehearsed. Because you live in alignment with yourself, even when no one is watching. You are not trying to be seen, yet you are noticed. That is not something you need to fix. It is something you need to protect. Do not dim yourself to make others comfortable. Do not explain your energy to people who have not earned access to it. Do not apologize for taking up space with your authenticity. You were not meant to blend in. You were meant to stand firmly as yourself. The right people will feel drawn to you naturally. Their attention will feel calm, respectful, and grounding. They will not demand that you change. They will not ask you to shrink. They will recognize you without trying to own you. The wrong people will reveal themselves through discomfort, through jealousy, through confusion, through the need to project their inner struggle onto you. Let them reveal themselves. You don't need to confront or convince. Your clarity is your protection. As you continue walking forward, stay rooted, stay aware, stay gentle with yourself. You don't need to rush, prove, or perform. Your presence already speaks in ways words never could. If this message resonated with you, stay connected. More clarity is unfolding, and you are stepping into a deeper understanding of who you are. And if you're ready to keep walking fully as yourself, without dimming, without hesitation, consider subscribing. Your presence matters, your energy matters, your truth matters. Even when others don't understand why, it was never meant for them to.